It's 3 a.m. and you're staring at your bank statement, wondering why your savings account balance barely moves while somehow the bank just built another marble lobby downtown. You deposit your paycheck, you keep your emergency fund there, you trust them with your financial life, but here's the uncomfortable truth. The banking system isn't designed to make you wealthy, it's designed to profit from every financial decision you make. And the gap between what you think is happening to your money and what's actually happening could be costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how banks turn your deposits into billions in profit, and more importantly, how to use this knowledge to keep more money in your own pocket. My name is Ivan, and I help people understand money, personal finance, and building wealth. If you're interested in getting your finances on track and maybe even getting ahead of the pack, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if this information helps you out. Before we dive into the mechanics, let me ask you something. If you were playing poker and someone was making money off every hand you played, wouldn't you want to understand their strategy? Banking works the same way. When you understand how banks actually generate profit, you can make smarter choices about where to keep your money, what products to avoid, and how to stop subsidizing their business model with your own financial future. Number 1, the credit card profit machine. Let's start with the product that generates the highest profit margins in all of banking, credit cards. The average credit card interest rate right now is about 21%. If you carry a $5,000 balance and only make minimum payments, you'll pay roughly $1,050 in interest over the next year. That's a 21% return for the bank on money they essentially created out of thin air. But here's where it gets even more profitable. About 45% of credit card holders carry a balance month to month. The other 55% pay in full and generate no interest income. So banks have designed a two-tier system. Half their customers use credit cards as a convenient payment tool. The other half subsidize everyone by paying interest rates that would make a loan shark blush. If you're in that second group, you're literally funding the travel rewards of people in the first group. The action here is brutally simple. Set up autopay to pay your full statement balance every month. If you can't afford to do that, stop using the card immediately. Credit cards are a tool for the financially disciplined. They're a trap for everyone else. Number 2, banking fees. Target the financially vulnerable. The average American pays about $330 per year in banking fees. Multiply that across millions of customers and you're looking at over $34 billion annually in pure profit for banks. Here's what makes this particularly insidious. These fees are specifically designed to extract money from people who can least afford it. If you have a high balance, you get fee waivers. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, one small mistake triggers a $35 overdraft fee. Banks process transactions largest to smallest instead of chronologically specifically to maximize overdraft fees, so that big rent check clears first, draining your account before the small grocery purchases. Each small purchase then triggers a separate fee. This practice has been challenged legally multiple times, but many banks still do it because the profit is too good to give up. The move here is to eliminate every single banking fee from your life. Switch to banks that don't charge monthly maintenance fees. Many online banks like Ally, Marcus, or Discover have zero fees and higher interest rates. Set up low balance alerts so you never overdraft. Every fee you eliminate is money that stays in your pocket instead of the bank's profit margin. Number 3, fractional reserve banking multiplies your money for them. When you deposit $1,000 at your bank, you probably imagine that money sitting in a vault with your name on it. But legally, the bank only has to keep about 10% of deposits on hand. The other 90% they can lend out immediately. So your $1,000 deposit allows them to create $900 in new loans while you still see $1,000 in your account. Both numbers exist simultaneously. Through this cycle, your original $1,000 deposit enables the banking system to create roughly $9,000 in total loans across the economy. The banks collect interest on all of it. This is called fractional reserve banking, and it's completely legal. What makes this particularly important is that this system works perfectly until it doesn't. During the 2008 financial crisis, when enough people tried to withdraw at once, banks didn't have the cash because 90% of it was already lent out. Here's what this means for your actual decisions. Never keep more than $250,000 in any single bank account. If you have more, split it across institutions to stay under FDIC limits. And understand that wealthy people don't keep all their assets in banks. They diversify across real estate, stocks, bonds, and other investments that aren't subject to the same systemic risks. Number 4, the mortgage interest front-loading strategy. When you take out a $300,000 mortgage at 5% for 30 years, your monthly payment is about $1,610. Feels manageable, but over those 30 years, you won't pay $300,000. You'll pay roughly $580,000. That's $280,000 in interest, nearly double the original loan amount, and the structure is designed to maximize bank profit. In the early years, almost your entire payment goes to interest, not principal. In year 1 of that $300,000 mortgage, you'll pay about $14,800 in interest and only $4,500 toward principal. The bank collects its money first. You start building equity last. Here's what this means. Every extra dollar you put toward principal saves you $3 in total payments over the life of the loan. If you pay just $200 extra per month on that $300,000 mortgage, you'll save about $67,000 in interest and pay off the loan 5 years early. The action here is to make extra principal payments whenever possible, especially in the early years when almost everything goes to interest. Number 5, your savings account loses money to inflation. Right now, your savings account probably pays you somewhere between 0.5 and 1% interest annually. Meanwhile, inflation over the past few years has averaged around 3 to 4%. That means your real return isn't 0.5%. It's negative 2.5 to 3.5%. You're losing purchasing power every single year. You keep $10,000 in a savings account earning 1%. After a year, you have $10,100. But if inflation ran at 3% that year, the stuff that cost $10,000 last year now costs $10,300. Your money grew by 100, but prices grew by 300. You're actually $200 poorer in terms of what you can buy. The action here is to never keep more than your emergency fund in a traditional savings account. 3 to 6 months of expenses maximum. Everything beyond that should be in assets that actually beat inflation. High-yield savings accounts currently pay 4 to 5%. Index funds historically return 9 to 10%. The bank's 1% offer is designed to keep you compliant, not to help you build wealth. Number 6, the deposit spread is pure profit. Banks pay you roughly 1% on your deposits, then turn around and lend that same money out at 4 to 7% for mortgages or 15 to 25% for credit cards. That gap is called the net interest margin, and it's pure profit. You deposit $10,000 earning 1% making $100. The bank lends out that same $10,000 at an average of 8% earning $800. You get $100, they get $800. You took all the risk of saving instead of spending. The bank captured 88% of the upside. The move here is to treat your bank as a utility, not a wealth-building partner. You need checking for daily transactions. You need savings for emergency funds, but investment money belongs in index funds or other assets that pay you market rates, not bank rates. Number 7, rich people get better interest rates. If you're struggling financially and ask for a loan, the bank will probably give you a high interest rate. But if you're wealthy, they'll give you the lowest rate possible, sometimes even lower than the inflation. A billionaire buying a $10 million property can get a mortgage at 2 to 3%. Meanwhile, someone making $40,000 a year might pay 5 to 6%. The person who needs help gets punished with high costs. The person who doesn't need help gets rewarded with cheap money. Your credit score is worth tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Okay? Every 100-point improvement can save you 0.5% on a mortgage, which on $300,000 is about $30,000 over 30 years. Pay every bill on time, keep credit utilization below 30%, and shop aggressively for rates from at least 3 different lenders. Number 8, minimum payments keep you in debt forever. Credit card. Minimum payments are usually about 2 to 3% of your balance. If you only make minimum payments on a $5,000 balance at 21% interest, it will take you about 17 years to pay off. And you'll pay over $6,000 in interest. That means your $5,000 balance actually costs you $11,000. This is by design. Banks calculate minimum payments to maximize their interest revenue while keeping the payment low enough that you can technically afford it. In that first month of paying $150 on a $5,000 balance, about $87 goes to interest and only $63 goes to principal. Never ever make only minimum payments. Attack the highest interest rate debt first with every extra dollar you have. Number 9, banks profit most when you're struggling. The customers who generate the highest profit margins are the ones who can least afford it. Someone with $50,000 in checking earning 0 interest generates almost no profit. But someone with a $500 balance who hits 3 overdraft fees a month and carries a $3,000 credit card balance generates hundreds of dollars in profit annually. The struggling customer is worth 10 times more to the bank's bottom line. This creates a perverse incentive. Banks have no financial motivation to help you build wealth or get out of debt. Their profit maximization depends on keeping customers in financial stress. Not enough to default, but enough to generate steady fee and interest income. The move here is to become the type of customer banks hate. Pay credit cards in full. Avoid all fees. Use their infrastructure while refusing to subsidize their profit margins. Number 10, loan terms are structured to maximize interest. A $300,000 mortgage at 5% for 30 years costs about $580,000 total. Cut that to 15 years and you pay about $420,000. That's $160,000 less in interest. But most people choose the 30-year because the monthly payment is lower. The bank just convinced you to pay $160,000 extra by making the payment seem more manageable. Always choose the shortest loan term you can actually afford. If you can't afford the payment on a shorter term, you probably can't afford what you're buying. A 15-year mortgage is almost always better than a 30-year, even if you have to buy a less expensive house. Number 11, pre-approvals. Lock you into higher prices. You make $80,000 a year. The bank pre-approves you for a $400,000 mortgage, so you shop in that price range and buy at $390,000. But the bank pre-approved you for the maximum amount that keeps your debt-to-income ratio barely acceptable, not the amount that lets you build wealth. At $400,000, your monthly payment is about $2,140. At $300,000, it's about $1,610. That's a $530 difference every month. Ignore pre-approval amounts completely. Calculate what you should borrow based on your own financial goals, not the bank's lending limits. Housing plus transportation should be 50% or less of your take-home pay. Always think in total cost, not monthly payments. Number 12, introductory rates are bait and switch. You see offers for 0% balance transfers or high savings rates. They look amazing, but these promotional rates are temporary bait designed to get you in the door before switching you to much less favorable terms. A bank offers 0% for 12 months on balance transfers. Most people don't pay off the balance during that period. When month 13 hits that 0%, jumps to 18 or 20%. Plus, there's usually a 3 to 5% transfer fee upfront. If you use promotional offers, set a calendar reminder for 1 week before they expire. Have a plan to pay off balance transfers completely. Shop again when savings rates drop and actually move your money. Don't let inertia trap you into worse terms. Number 13, banks profit from financial illiteracy. Banks profit enormously from customers not understanding how money works. When you don't understand compound interest, you underestimate the cost of debt. When you don't understand inflation, you keep money in accounts that lose purchasing power. Financial illiteracy is extremely profitable for banks. If every customer understood that carrying a balance at 21% is financial suicide, the credit card business would collapse. The move here is to commit to financial education. Spend 1 hour per week learning about money, understand compound interest, inflation, real returns, and opportunity cost. Once you understand these basics, you'll immediately see through the majority of banking tricks. Number 14, wealthy people. Borrow to avoid taxes. Rich people borrow money against their assets to avoid selling them and triggering capital gains taxes. You own $10 million in stock. If you sell it, you pay capital gains, tax on the gain, maybe $1.8 million. But instead, you borrow $2 million using the stock as collateral at 2% interest. Now, you have cash to spend. You never sold anything. You never triggered taxes. Borrowed money isn't taxable income. The wealthy can literally avoid taxes their entire lives by borrowing instead of selling. Meanwhile, ordinary people don't get these offers. Once you have substantial assets, understand that you can borrow against them instead of selling. Many brokerages offer portfolio lines of credit with rates lower than credit cards, and you avoid capital gains taxes. Number 15, banks make money when you don't use your benefits. Banks make money when you don't use the benefits you're paying for. That rewards checking account with requirements to avoid fees. The bank is betting most customers won't meet them every month. That credit card with travel insurance, they're counting on you not filing claims. Your laziness or forgetfulness is literally budgeted into their profit projections. If you're paying for premium accounts or cards with annual fees, actually use every benefit they offer. Set reminders to meet minimum requirements. Submit reimbursement requests. If you're not using the benefits, downgrade to a free account. Once a year, audit every banking product you have and close what you're not optimizing. The difference isn't intelligence or income. It's understanding